Michel Simon was a Swiss-French actor renowned for his commanding presence, gravelly voice, and ability to portray a wide range of characters, including coarse commoners, soulful eccentrics, and menacing figures. Often hailed as one of the greatest character actors in French cinema, his collaborations with legendary directors like Jean Renoir, Jean Vigo, and Marcel Carné produced a number of classic films. Today, I'll explore 11 of his best films, focusing on their significance, his performances, and their lasting impact. These selections are based on critical acclaim, historical importance, and Simon's standout contributions. Simon's role as Maurice Legrand in La Chienne marks one of his earliest triumphs in films. He plays a timid middle-aged cashier who has become trapped in a loveless marriage. His life goes from bad to worse when he falls in love with a manipulative prostitute, Lulu, Janie Merez. Simon brings a tragic depth to Legrand, portraying his descent from naive infatuation to murderous despair with heartbreaking nuance. The film's gritty realism and psychological complexity foreshadowed the French poetic realism movement, which blended gritty realism with a lyrical and often melancholic tone. These films shared a knack for turning the mundane working-class lives into something hauntingly beautiful, often with a sense of inevitable tragedy. Simon's ability to convey both vulnerability and rage anchors the story. Renoir later credited Simon with introducing improvisation to his filmmaking, a testament to the actor's creative influence. In this satirical comedy, Simon stars as Boudou, a scruffy, irreverent tramp rescued from the Seine by a well-meaning bookseller, Edouard Lestingois, Charles Grandval. Edouard generously takes Boudou home with him, but Boudou proves to be an appallingly brutish freeloader. Rather than showing gratitude, he proceeds to upend the bourgeois household with his anarchic behavior, from eating messily to ravaging his host's wife. Kimberly Wadsworth of the movie Crash Course wrote, "Boudou doesn't quite behave the way they expect a grateful houseguest would. He criticizes the food and eschews the bed they give him in lieu of curling up on the floor. His efforts to simply polish his shoes destroy the kitchen. He spits on the floor." An incensed Lestingois realizes he must either reform or evict his guest. Simon's portrayal is a tour de force of physical comedy and subtle rebellion, embodying Renoir's critique of class conventions. His unkempt beard, wild energy, and sly grin make Boudou an unforgettable anti-hero. The film's influence is evident in its Hollywood remake, Down and Out in Beverly Hills, 1986, but Simon's original performance remains unmatched for its wit and humanity. Widely regarded as one of the masterpieces of French cinema, L'Atalante is a poetic and dreamlike tale of love and life aboard a river barge. Simon plays Père Jules, the rough-around-the-edges first mate with a heart of gold. Covered in tattoos and exuding a roguish charm, Jules is a larger-than-life figure who brings both humor and pathos to the film. His interactions with a newlywed couple, Jean d'Aste, and Juliette Dita Parlo, are unforgettable, especially in scenes where he shows off his quirky collection of oddities or dances with abandon. Simon's improvisational skills shine here, adding a raw authenticity to Vigo's only feature-length film. Despite its initial commercial failure, L'Atalante is now celebrated for its lyrical beauty and Simon's iconic performance. This absurdist comedy features Simon as Erwin Molyneux, a crime novelist caught in a web of mistaken identities and farcical misunderstandings. Alongside Louis Jouvet and Jean-Louis Barrault, Simon revels in the film's zany energy, delivering a performance that's both eccentric and endearing. His playful performance is a delightful departure from his more serious roles. A cornerstone of poetic realism, Port of Shadows features Simon as Zabel, a sinister shopkeeper with a dark secret. Set in a foggy port town, the film follows a deserter, Jean Gabin, who falls for a young woman, Michelle Morgan, under Zabel's guardianship. Simon's Zabel is a chilling blend of menace and desperation, his hulking frame and rumbling voice amplifying the character's predatory nature. His scenes with Gabin crackle with tension, culminating in a violent confrontation that showcases Simon's ability to shift from quiet menace to explosive fury. The film's moody atmosphere and Simon's standout performance make it a classic of pre-war French cinema.
Mais qu'est-ce que vous avez donc tous avec l'amour? Est-ce qu'il y a quelqu'un qui m'aime, moi?
Simon plays Vautrin, a sly escaped convict who avoids capture by masquerading as a priest. Vautrin manipulates a handsome young man, Lucien de Rubempré, René Albouy, into marrying a noble woman for her money. His performance is a tour de force of physicality and nuance, blending menace with charisma. Simon's ample presence and ability to shift from paternal warmth to sinister cunning bring Balzac's anti-hero to life. Critics and fans often highlight his scene-stealing dominance, especially in moments where Vautrin's schemes unfold. His theatrical flair elevates a sometimes ponderous script. The film's production in 1943 under Vichy France adds significant historical weight. Made amid censorship and resource constraints, it represents a rare example of ambitious literary adaptation during the occupation. Gaumont initially planned to adapt Victor Hugo's L'Homme qui rit with Simon, but shifted to Vautrin due to logistical issues, highlighting the era's creative compromises. The film subtly critiques power and class, themes resonant with Balzac's work, though it avoids overt political commentary, likely to evade censorship. Its historical value lies in its snapshot of wartime French cinema and Simon's defiance of adversity as he continued working despite personal and professional risks. Some critics praised Simon's impressive performance, while others found the adaptation lacking the depth of Balzac's novels. In this dark post-war noir, Simon plays Monsieur Here, a reclusive misanthrope wrongly accused of murder by suspicious neighbors. His bulky, awkward presence makes Here an easy scapegoat, and Simon infuses the role with a mix of aloofness and quiet dignity. As the community turns against him, his isolation becomes heartbreakingly palpable. Panique is a scathing critique of mob mentality, and Simon's portrayal of Here ranks among his most affecting dramatic roles. The film's rediscovery in recent years has cemented its status as a hidden gem. Simon takes on the role of Mephistopheles in this stylish retelling of the Faust legend. His devilish Mephistopheles is a sly, mischievous presence manipulating Faust, Gérard Philippe, with glee. Simon's towering frame and expressive face bring a theatrical flamboyance to Claire's fantastical narrative, balancing humor and menace. The film's blend of wit and philosophical depth is elevated by Simon's commanding performance.
Méphistophélès, où est ce bonheur que tu m'as promis?
Ne sois pas trop exigeant. Il ne tient qu'à toi d'être heureux. La princesse va venir te rejoindre bientôt, ici même.
Qu'en sais-tu?
Ce soir, je puis voir les événements qui vont se produire aussi clairement que tu te vois dans ce miroir.
Est-ce vrai?
Oui.
J'aimerais fort que tu me fasses connaître ce qui va m'arriver dans l'heure prochaine. Puis-je t'en prier, mon serviteur?
Si cela peut te distraire, mon maître, regarde. Regarde ce reflet de toi-même qui se détache de toi et qui s'en va dans le temps qui vient. Voici l'heure à laquelle la princesse viendra dans ce salon. Quand elle apparaîtra, tu l'attendras debout près de la porte. Je dis Méphistophélès, au dernier jour de ma vie, prendra possession de mon âme. Signé Faust. C'est tout à fait en règle. Pourquoi as-tu voulu connaître l'avenir? Pourquoi n'as-tu pas écouté?
Released in the post-war 1950s, The Virtuous Scoundrel reflects a return to lighter fare in French cinema after years of wartime gloom and existentialism. It's a product of director Sacha Guitry's late career focus on bourgeois satire. Simon's dual portrayal of twin brothers Albert and Alain is the film's centerpiece. As Albert, he's stiff and repressed, his physical bulk underscoring a life of constraint as a high-stakes financier. Alain is a free-spirited adventurer. Simon is loose and roguish in this role, exuding a joie de vivre that contrasts sharply with his twin. His ability to switch between these personas, often within the same scene, demonstrates his mastery of character acting. Simon's comic timing and expressive face amplify Guitry's script, turning a simple identity swap plot into a showcase of human duality. His performance is a standout for its balance of humor and pathos, making the film more memorable than its modest premise might suggest. French reviews from the time, such as in Cinémonde, lauded Simon's ability to differentiate the brothers with subtle physicality and tone, though the film itself was seen as a charming trifle rather than a profound work. During the production of Un certain Monsieur Joe, 1958, Simon suffered a severe health setback. An intoxication from beer dye damaged his nervous system, affecting his memory and paralyzing a part of his face. But the actor was determined to continue working. In this taut World War II thriller, Simon plays Papa Boule, an aging French railway engineer caught up in a resistance plot to stop a train carrying stolen art to Germany. Opposite Burt Lancaster's intense Labiche, Simon's Boule is a stubborn, crotchety figure whose love for his locomotive drives his heroic sacrifice. His performance is brief but indelible, infusing the film's high-stakes action with a touch of earthy humanity.
You can settle the blame for this later, Major.
One moment,
Right
if you
now,
please, sir. Turn out your pants pockets. Slick this oil. Sabotage, Colonel. It's an old trick around here. They slip in franc pieces and cut off the oil supply. You're an old fool. You should have thrown them away.
4 francs are 4 francs.
Major, please. It's not important. I'll have the engine fixed overnight. I'll work on it myself.
Take him away.
Colonel! Stop them. Wait. Colonel, he slowed up your train for a few hours, but he saved it. He took it through the bombs at the risk of his own life. He's an old man. He doesn't know what he's doing. I'll get your train through for him. He's just a foolish old man.
His train. His. It's my train. I know what I'm doing. Do you? Huh? You'll help them. I practically raised you. But you're no better than they are. Swine!
Colonel, what can you gain by the death of one old man? What he did can make no difference. The train will go on. You have the authority. You can stop it.
Simon's late career triumph came with The Two of Us, where he plays a gruff anti-Semitic peasant named Claude, who unwittingly takes in a Jewish boy, Alain Cohen, during World War II. The film is a tender exploration of prejudice and redemption, with Simon delivering a performance that's both cantankerous and deeply moving. His chemistry with the young Cohen is the heart of the film, as Claude's rough exterior gradually softens. Simon's performance won the actor the Silver Bear for Best Actor at the 1967 Berlin Film Festival. The award stands as a testament to Simon's enduring power. The Two of Us is a quiet, humanistic gem that showcases Simon's range. English journalist Richard Boston wrote of Simon, "Whether or not he was a pleasant man, he was certainly a complex one, with a good deal of Boudou in him." It was noted on Wikipedia, Simon was at various times a boxer, a boxing instructor, a right-wing anarchist, a frequenter of prostitutes, pimps, and petty crooks. He was extremely well-read, a talented photographer, a hypochondriac, a misanthrope, owner of a vast collection of pornography, and with a reputation for unorthodox sexual behavior, which he did not bother to deny. Simon's unique physicality, improvisational genius, and emotional depth make these performances timeless, earning the actor praise from figures like Charlie Chaplin, who reportedly called him the greatest actor in the world.